Hey guys, we are back with another video. Today we are taking on Ascension 2 with the Ironclad. Ascension 2 makes normal enemies deadlier. Let's get into it. So off the start, we get a pen nib. So much power with the pen nib early on. It's a great start to take out our first elite. It kind of already gives us the damage that we need. If we combine that with a good attack card off the rip from one of these hallway fights, we should be good. So here, just gonna probably strike. Yep. One defend. We'll take one, but we can easily heal that at the end, thanks to Burning Blood. And we're out. Alright, and we heal back to full. We get some good uncommons here with Shockwave and Dual Wield. I think it's an easy Shockwave angle on that one. And then we are tempted by the Serpent. He wants to tempt us with riches. So right now I'm just seeing if we have access to a merchant on our path. It doesn't seem like we do, so I'm gonna have to forego all the riches. And we get a nice easy remove here, which I'm always a fan of removing one of them pesky strikes. It is sort of a risk. We don't know whether we're gonna get a good attack common at the end of this Jawworm fight, but I have faith in the heart of the cards that, you know, the game is gonna bless us and give us something nice. Maybe an uppercut. Fully blocked there. And we should be out of here. Great. Have Sever Soul, Perfected Strike, Thunderclap. I'm a big fan of Thunderclap. Probably take that. These other cards are good. Perfected Strike, though, we just removed a strike, so I'm not looking at that one. Sever Soul has good damage, though, and I think that's what kind of made me choose that over Thunderclap in this case. Sever Soul has that extra damage. We got these two pesky slimes. We got 4 red eyeballs on that slime. And we're out of here with our pen nib on 9. It's a good setup on that pen nib for this elite. We want to make sure that we use that pen nib on a good high attack. Probably skip our turn there. Make sure to shockwave him. Now he's vulnerable and weak for a couple turns. And now we could really get him. Sever Soul, though, is tough because it'll remove these defense, right? It'll exhaust them if we play it. So there's a little bit of hesitancy there. But the longer we wait to open up on Lagavulin, the more that our debuffs with Shockwave kind of become useless. Yeah, it's good damage, but you remove your defense, which it's a good amount of damage. It's a good trade-off. I decide to block and then Sever Soul. That way I keep a defend in my draw pile. Just having one was too little, but if I have two, kind of made me feel a little bit better about playing it there. You're gonna go Yeah, bashing is the correct play, I think, there. Re-put that vulnerability on him. Strikes are hitting harder than the whirlwind there. And I play the whirlwind just to activate Penib to go to the next number. And we're out of there. So, a little rough, but not the worst. And then we get these cards, which are some good stuff. We get to see Seeing Red, Hemokinesis, and True Grit. I'm always a fan of True Grit. I like Hemokinesis a lot. Hemokinesis I use a lot. Seeing Red is overall a good card. It's a lot better with card draw. I take Seeing Red because we have these cards that cost 2 energy. And if we draw Seeing Red along with them, it'll let us play them easier. And Whirlwind just makes that fight way too easy. We got Rupture, Dual Wield, and Twin Strike. I'm a big fan of Twin Strike. Rupture is a little premature here. We don't have anything that loses us health. I take Rupture. I have faith that our deck will come to see cards that really exploit Rupture, and I know how strong Rupture is. Here we activated the Seeing Red. Gonna block a little bit of this damage and go for a Whirlwind. Now our Penib is on 9. We're ready to deal some extra damage to him with a hit. And there you go, with the vulnerability he's done. We got a card choice, True Grit. Flex, Shrug it off. I like Shrug. I think Shrug works well. So we take a Shrug into our elite fight. With the 3 sentries, I think we're equipped properly here with 3 sentries. Having the Whirlwind, I think, is going to be very helpful here. Having Sever Soul is also probably going to be helpful. You know, once we have those dazes, we can easily remove them. They get removed at the end of the turn anyway, but, you know, just get it out of our hand. Doesn't seem like we have enough damage to take out the first sentry without the use of a potion. I mean, here, this is what potions are for. These tougher fights, a tougher elite fight, you know, you use a potion, but you come out of it with a relic, so definitely a good trade. I want to let anybody know that the mods that I'm currently using, if you see that little text on the upper right, the mods that I'm using are in the description, and the mods are purely cosmetic or quality of life. They're just nice to have. Nothing that really changes gameplay. The gameplay is the same. All the events are the same as the base game. And the only thing that slightly changes is always having the 4 Niao options. And I just found that that's better. It's more interesting of a start rather than just choosing between like max HP and one other thing. So we have both of these guys vulnerable. We only drew 2 strikes. Looks like we're gonna be taking some more damage here. But we should have one of them down next turn and quickly get on out of here. The bash should be enough to take him out, right? The bash was, I think, lethal. So But we're out of here. Okay, we got Omamori, which negates 2 curses that we see, so we're a lot more confident heading into these mystery rooms. I didn't feel that it was worth using there. And we got Gremlin Knob. And our pen nib is on 9, which is great. We'll do extra damage here with this bash. Checking over my potions to see what I have available for this fight. Here we'll strike. Play Rupture just to make sure that we don't draw it again. We want to refrain from using skills to power them up. Here we do enough for lethal. And we get a Shuriken, which is huge. And that's going to influence the way that we kind of build our deck. Headbutt is definitely a good card. Allows you to manipulate your deck. You seeing red. We can always use that extra energy at any time with a whirlwind. Just calculating here. And that isn't lethal. Make sure to disarm that. And we whirlwind for moving pen nib. Might be enough here. I think it is. Yeah. Have a Flex Sword Boomerang, Feel No Pain. I like Feel No Pain. Very good card. Once it starts working. See what we're gonna upgrade here. We upgrade that Shrug It Off. Hexaghost does hit rather hard. Having something to help out with that is good. Also think a Disarm upgrade would have been good there also. Yeah. Play the Seeing Red. It makes it easier to play this power and get it out of our hand. So it's just in effect. Shrug first to make sure to block that incoming damage. Shockwave, so good there. Now we could just strike. Yep. Just defend, yeah. We just defend. We could do a headbutt play, or we could just whirlwind after. We do want to play enough attacks to proc, so now this will proc the Shuriken. Helps us get stronger. Like Bash. Yeah. Don't have to worry about defending that turn. And that strike was going to be useless. It actually might have done a little bit to him. But we're out of here. Good fight. And we get Berserk, Juggernaut, and Impervious. It's definitely some good cards here. Do like Juggernaut, I do like Impervious. I think Juggernaut went crazy for us on the last run. Contemplating this here. Is a hard choice between the two. Checking over the deck. Alright. Get these 3 relics here. Sozu, Curse Key, Snekowai. I think Curse Key is okay to take here because we do have that on Omamori, so it synergizes well with that. And we should be able to line those up so we don't actually face any negative consequences from that Curse Key, but we do get the benefits from it. Going into Act 2, hit that subscribe button if you're liking the gameplay. New gameplay videos come out every week on this channel. Shorts come out Monday through Thursday. Short form content. So looking at this path, I really like that because we do have a lot of money built up. So we'd like to hit a shop, especially an Act 2 shop is always good because this is the harder act. Sometimes out the gate is just some crazy fights that you have to be able to handle. You do have the collector at the end of it. Seems like this is the path that we're gonna go on, and I do like having paths that have deviations. This guy is one of the worst fights to me. He's just so annoying, and the consistent damage that he does, and as well as the generation of all that block that he does every turn. I saw a content creator use a smoke bomb on this fight recently, and it's 100% understandable. This fight just takes too long sometimes. It's just annoying. He hits you for a good amount. So definitely having the 4 energy is going to help us a lot. But sometimes, you know, you get out of Act 2 with a black star, and this fight is harder because you haven't gotten that 4th energy yet. You might be getting a happy flower or a lantern later on. So that procs Shuriken, and it also advances Pendant. Here we just strike, defend. And there I could have defended that extra damage as well. It was probably just used to only being able to play 3 cards on a turn. So that's coming out of Act 2, something to be mindful of. Checking to see if we want that potion. I think I'm good with the potions that I have. And we have a Cursed Tome event. This is huge. Get a Neilreese Codex. Be able to shuffle 1 to 3 cards. 1 of 3 cards into our draw pile. And we also have a Council of Ghosts event. Seeing if I want Apparitions at the cost of 37 max HP. And I think this is too good to pass up. So I take the Apparitions. And with the Apparitions, that also changes the way that we play, because now we can be a little more greedy in terms of the cards that we take, because we don't have to worry about defending so much. 5 Apparitions throughout the deck, there's a pretty good chance that you draw at least 1 in a given turn. Take a Carnage. We have play our power card here. And take double tap. Draw all of our Apparitions here. And this will make the whole fight pretty much of a breeze. And we got him at half health already, so. Whirlwind here would do 24. Wouldn't be enough. Wouldn't be lethal. And we're out of here. See what we get. Uppercut, armaments, disarm. Not sure we're gonna add anything here. Take an armaments. It's a source of block, and you get to upgrade a card, so should help. We do get our impervious. We get the impervious that we didn't take on the boss reward. You get a chance at it. We can upgrade the Shockwave or we can upgrade the Bash. I think definitely the Shockwave is a better choice there. We proc it. And Shrug It Off does nothing there for us. And Neilreese wants us to have a Juggernaut. Wants us bad to put the Juggernaut into play. We draw both of them. Skip there. Playing an Apparition here is useless. Probably just Whirlwind, do damage to both of them while they're vulnerable. And we got one of them out of here. Just gotta focus on Mr. Tank. The tanky knight over there. And we're done. You get Clash, Clothesline, Intimidate. Could take an Intimidate here, I think. But if we skip, that is also fine, I think. I think it's also fine if you skip. And I do feel strong enough. But we're gonna take... Yeah, we're gonna continue on our path to make sure that we get to that shop. Draw 2 Apparitions. That makes this first turn very easy, very simple. And just play our power to eliminate it from our deck. So you can see how that power has done nothing for us at this point. We haven't been able to really draw a card that synergizes with it. And because we're intangible all the time, we have no... Yeah, we have nothing that really kind of works with it, so... We had a Hemokinesis. That would work with that. Get rid of Shield Gremlin there. So yeah, my plan is to work my way up to all the Ascensions with the Ironclad first. I want to make sure to not switch between the characters so that I can kind of really focus on Ironclad's moveset and his cards and how the relics kind of synergize with his whole style, with the kind of exhaust style, strength scaling, block scaling. He has a whole bunch of different kind of pathways to win the game. So I just really want to explore all of that. And I think after, you know, if I do make it to Ascension 20, because it's not guaranteed, but I want to definitely keep going. And I never made it to Ascension 20 on my other account, which was the only account that I had before I started recording videos. I only made it to Ascension 7, I think. And I had another Slay the Spire account actually maybe 2 years ago when I discovered this game. But I don't know how far I made it there. I think Ascension 7 is the farthest that I made it. You know, but I'm not completely sure. But regardless, I'm definitely going to try to make it to Ascension. This is beautiful here. This whirlwind is very beautiful. I love that. And yeah, so I'm definitely going to try to make it to Ascension 20. I remember before when I started playing, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, we get an anchor, and anchor is so good because it just allows you to kind of set up on turn 1. A lot of the times you might be getting attacked for a small amount on turn 1, and anchor does a good job of mitigating that, so you can just focus on doing what you want to do to set up for late game. So it makes like playing a Juggernaut a lot easier for us, playing a Feel No Pain a lot easier for us. And here are these card rewards. I do like Second Wind, and I like Shrug It Off. Yeah, I'll take Shrug It Off. But yeah, so I remember when I first started playing this game, Silent was actually the character that I gravitated towards. I think I understood how to play with Silent a lot easier because exhausting was scary to me, right? You add good cards to your deck, and Ironclad makes you exhaust good cards sometimes, whereas Silent, you're just discarding them, so then you're still keeping them in your in your deck, and you build these huge elaborate decks that just keep going infinite a lot easier, I think, for Silent, whereas Ironclad you really have to know how to become infinite. So well, it's not as clear to a new player, I don't think. So Silent was my favorite character before. I am now more comfortable with the whole exhaust mechanic on Ironclad, and I think it's just really fun. I do like that Ironclad and Silent are both going to make their return in Slay the Spire 2. Definitely looking forward to that game. And I hope I'm definitely going to cover that game when it comes out. And I hope you guys are there when I do. You know, we could play along together, we could learn things together and share them. Fighting the big Snecko now. Big man Snecko. Something that I've been noticing is that my Act 1 times are getting a lot faster. And I think on Act 2 and Act 3 are where I'm spending a lot more time sort of making decisions. And the fights are taking longer. And I think that's because Act 1 you see it so much. You know, every time you start a run, you start in Act 1. So the knowledge of Act 1 keeps increasing faster than your knowledge of Act 2. Let's say you only get to Act 2 75% of the time. Well, you go through Act 1 100% of the time. So, and here we get a card choice after that fight. I love Battle Trance. Gives us some card draw, which I think we need. And it's upgraded. So, taking on the elite fight is tempting, but we want to get to the shop. Offering gives us some more card draw, which is beautiful. Dark Embrace gives us more card draw. And we have a choice of a Bottle Tornado. Dolly's Mirror is interesting here as well. Well, we're gonna bottle that Feel No Pain. Yeah, I think Dolly's Mirror was interesting. You could Dolly's Mirror the Offering if you wanted to. And that definitely gives you like some momentum in a fight. The Paper Frog is a nice addition. We're applying Vulnerable pretty often. And then once we get out of a shop, we're offered that curse. If it was in an alternate order, I might have taken it and been able to remove that curse. Since we start off with Feel No Pain, it makes sense to upgrade that. It also makes sense to upgrade Offering. Those extra cards that it gives you the access to are good. We're just going to upgrade Feel No Pain because we start with it. Here we got a Book of Stabbing. Gonna hit us for 12 immediately. Well, we might be able to be alright. Yeah, there we go. We've already blocked the damage. And now we have these Apparitions. But they're not gonna do anything until next turn. So it's either play 2 Apparitions or play Dark Embrace Juggernaut or play... Yeah, it has to be like some kind of combination of those things. So yeah, we do play that. That way we're intangible for this turn and we're intangible next turn as well. Bloodletting is nice because Bloodletting works with our Rupture. but Bloodletting is just a good card in general. Okay. Okay. We do disarm Book of Stabbing. Alright, play Barricade, shrug it off, anger. Try to do some good damage with that anger. Gives you that extra chip damage on them. I love this. I love Nori's Codex. It can really transform your deck and make it just that much better. It can solve for anything that you're missing. One of the probably strongest relics, right? If you're missing a little bit of energy, you can add those energy cards. If you're missing card draw, you can add those. If you're missing attacks, you can add those. If you're missing defense cards, you can add those. So, just even powers, everything. So, here this Whirlwind takes them out. And we get Preserved Insect, which just gives us so much value for incoming elite fights. We're definitely not scared to take on any elite now. We might take on that burning one now with that Preserved Insect. And talking about burning elites, on the last Ironclad Ascension run, I actually had 2 pieces of the key. So I think I forgot to recall at the final rest site, so we weren't able to take on the heart. But this Ascension run, I'll try to remember to get that key. So, Shell Parasite, we left him alive. Actually, we didn't leave him alive, he resurrected somehow. We killed him earlier. And he's back. We brought a friend. And they want to be mean and hit us for 20. That's not right. Apparition comes in clutch. We drew into that. That's the heart of the cards right there. If anybody knows... Oh, what I find so cool in this game is the other mods that people have made, and they're available on the Steam Workshop. I'm playing this game on Steam, and I've tried a couple of them. I've tried some of the mods that are game-changing, like with alternate characters that people have made, or there's one, I think, Downfall, there's the name of it, where you play as the enemies and you take on the heroes, and that is really cool. And so you like working for the heart. I like that one. I'll probably end up playing some of these mods on this channel. I really enjoyed everyone's contribution. Yeah, and you know, all the people who make these mods and make stuff that's that is even gonna make it into the base game of Slay the Spire 2, right? They've taken note of what people want, and for example, the map markers being something that's definitely going to be in the second game, I think is nice that they're seeing what the community wants and acting on it and making sure that it's in the game, so that the modders don't even have to worry about that, and we as players will have that on day one. And then I'm sure the modders will find a way to make map markers even better than they are, you know, whatever. But yeah, Really appreciate the modding community available in this game. Add so many hours of gameplay to this. And oh, one that I haven't tried yet is the Packmaster. That would probably be the first one that I try on this channel, just because it's completely brand new to me. Let's see what we're gonna upgrade here at this. Yeah, upgrading offering is definitely great. And we could take on this Burning Elite with that Preserved Insect. We're a lot more confident taking them out. I mean, one like super stacked Whirlwind just wins us the fight completely. Here I'm not afraid to use a potion because we're at 70% of being able to get a potion at the end of this fight. If you see in the upper right corner, there's a 70% thing on my screen that indicates the chances that we'll get a potion from this fight. And that's an example of one of the mods that I have enabled. That's a beautiful Whirlwind. I was looking at it. Okay, Sundial. We got Sundial. So now we have a... Sundial gives Ironclad a infinite. Fiendfire is too good here. I love this card. So we get the Emerald Key. We got Sundial. And then we got Fiendfire. It was just probably... That was too good of a Burning Elite. Definitely worth it. Let's see if we have... So we have Collector. So we have Shrug It Off. And I think all we need is Pummel Strike in order to be able to infinite. Try to take a Swift Potion just to make sure that we can use our energy. And yeah, we just kept drawing block cards. Not the best turn one. I never noticed the sound that they make when they spawn in. Such a cool sound, actually. Apparition definitely just helps us here. Shockwave is beautiful. And maybe headbutting something? Headbutting something back, like a Battle Trance? This is okay damage against everyone. And I like that it hits everyone. We'll do that. Do a nice 15. Get a nice drop kick off here. Oh, with drop kick, Shrug It Off, we might be able to infinite. Just have to get rid of everything else. I think firing everything at this point wouldn't be bad, but Bloodletting is good. Skipping is also fine there. I think. Yeah, here I might as well. Although apparitioning there did do something. It carried over the intangible to next turn. So that might be the better play. I think it was better play. Before I did Sever Soul. But I guess I want to just do max damage to him. Oh, and now he's gonna try to summon his minions, right? We did have that. I'm gonna activate. Yeah, okay. Alright, now he's gonna go try to summon his minions. We have a pendant. Huh. Trying to spot weakness to question marks is funny. I don't think that Sever Souling here is the worst thing. We are getting him very low at this point. To the point where we could potentially infinite. So yeah, bash, Sever Soul, it's not bad. Plus that all that Juggernaut damage. Good. A whirlwind might be enough already. And he's done. Yeah. It's a nice fight, it was just easy. Ooh, we do have a chance at feeding here. That's definitely, I think, the card to take. We already have Juggernaut. And we have Coffee Dripper, Black Blood, and Runic. I don't think we need breast sights. We'll take a Runic. Runic sometimes makes it easier to infinite, sometimes makes it harder. Because you might have something in your hand that you want to keep, but you don't want to play at that exact moment. But I think Runic just makes everything up leading to the infinite a lot easier. We have a lot of elites in this path, and we're going to take that. With our Preserved Insect, we're a lot happier to take on a lot of elites. Alright, so we got the first fight here against a Life Drain mob. The Life Drain mob. Use Feel No Pain. Just good to get that in play. With that in play, we're definitely set up to do some things. Oh, I like another Fiendfire here. Yep. That just helps us get down to the cards that we want. And especially with Runic, we can manipulate when we play that Fiendfire for maximum effect. We're definitely going to play Offering here. Offering lets us set up Dark Embraces and all type of other things. And we're definitely going to want to play Feed. Now we're forced to play our Apparitions. That's the one thing about card draw, is it forces you to play these Apparitions because I don't want to lose the value from them. And it drew another one. So now we have to play 3 Apparitions this turn. And we only have enough energy to play one more thing. We play that Rupture to get it out of there. Most likely. So now what's hard about Fiend Firing, Runic Pyramid, and Feed is that you want to have Feed not be in your hand when you Fiend Fire. So now we can't Fiend Fire because we do want Feed. So that is kind of like the anti-synergy of this whole deck. Something like Warcry can help you manipulate it, but since Dark Embrace would draw us a card when we exhaust, then that doesn't work either. Alright. Let's look into a draw pile. And a card like... I end up Fiend Firing the Feed. And just deciding not to feed this combat because of how difficult it was to set it up. It's just... And I had a whole bunch of useless cards in my hand that I wanted to get rid of. And right now we're kind of set up in a nice way to be able to Fiend Fire this whole hand as well. Probably Shockwaving Fiend Firing is a good play here because we probably have... Well, we only have Shrug It Off. But having a lot less cards would mean that we're shuffling a lot more. So yeah, Fiend Firing is good again here. If we had 2 Shrugs, that would be cool too. And then with 2 Shrugs, we would just be doing damage based on Juggernaut, which is so interesting. And we could Sundial the 2 Shrug It Offs. It's actually very interesting. And something I don't think I normally see that play. Beautiful. I don't think we really need anything here. Flex is more interesting with Fiend Fire and with Runic Pyramid, but I think at this stage, since we know what the infinite that we want is, taking on cards might not be the best. Yeah, we have two shrug it off, so that means that we can infinite with Juggernaut. Wow, it's really interesting. I was searching for a pommel strike, because that's the way I commonly seen that infinite happen. I normally search for a pommel strike. But yeah, with Juggernaut, it completely changes it so that you don't have to worry about that. One good thing about Juggernaut is it draws 2. And I think that causes Sundial to work faster. This might be a feat here. These are not minion enemies, so the feat should work on that spiky guy. Yum. And, you know, we have 40 max health, so feat is definitely a card that we like. Could help us survive a nasty hit later. And we don't have to harp too much on what we exhaust here, because this little enemy is not a threat. I upgrade the headbutt to be able to do more damage to him, because we don't have damage cards in our hand. This block gets him really low, and he's done. Okay, the game really wants us to take Body Slam, but we're gonna skip it. And we have Transient. I think we could go infinite against the Transient, but I'm not sure that I would want to keep clicking Shrug It Off to just keep doing 5 damage to him. I think that would take a miserably long time. Power Through. A good defense card. We might be able to exhaust the wounds that it puts into our deck. So he's gonna hit us for 60. And that is a lot. Be good if we drew Apparition here. Oh wow. We top decked Apparition at the wrong time. Now we're just gonna lose it. But the game gave us another 3 to make up for it. So we take a big bunch of damage. But now we don't even have to click cards, right? Because it disappears in 2 turns. We have 3. So all we have to do is keep ending turn at this point. I think clicking Offering is for sure the wrong play here because we can just keep ending turn as long as we just defend this. If we power through, Impervious, whatever, we just click Defend, we're good to go. So yeah, I could have defended that 1. I think that was a misplay. There's been, I guess, 2 times at least in this run that we haven't protected 1 damage. And the game really could come down to 1 damage, so need to be careful of doing stuff like that. Losing all gold to obtain a relic, I think most likely we are not running into a shop. So yeah, look at that. We're not running into a shop at all. So, you know, it would have to be in the next question mark. So I think losing all gold here is okay, unless we're saving our gold for Act 4. But we don't even know if we're gonna make it to Act 4. So I think losing all gold here is fine for a red mask. And it takes away an artifact charge. So we can receive Madness. I don't believe Madness would help us in any way. I think just retracing our steps here is the wisest play. So I definitely want to get off feed on this Reptomancer. Armaments, disarm. I like that line. Or armament strike. Like armaments upgrading strike and just playing disarm, since I could see why I wouldn't want to upgrade the disarm if it's just going to be exhausted. Yeah. Metallicize is beautiful. I'm a big fan of Metallicize. Berserk is a little greedy, but I think with our deck we can definitely play it. This turn though, everyone wants to attack, but Apparition is gonna make it so that we're alright. I recognize here that this dagger will die with the spikes damage, with the bronze scale damage that we have, and then that one also will. So then we'll just have 1 dagger plus the Reptomancer left. Berserk? Yeah, Apparitions make it so that Berserk is free. And it is a way to scale and play more cards, so. I like just taking Inflame here. Although, you know, Combust, this is the fight for Combust. I wouldn't take Combust here. Skipping is fine also. So now we have more energy because of our Berserk. Get some more energy from Seeing Red. We definitely want to bash. I would definitely want to bash the Reptomancer to make sure that he stays vulnerable. Then we can play a strike onto him to take advantage of that. After that, probably Warcry. Something similar. Drug is a useless card play right now. Sometimes you need to just do a useless card play. Okay, we get an Apparition. It's good for next turn. Okay, so we play Shrug in order to save Shrug and second wind, which gets us closer to an infinite. Just using our powers here, probably. Dark Embrace, Rupture. Cards aren't necessary. Bashing Repto would be the play I go with, I think. Probably the best play. We're getting close to be able to Fiend Fire our whole hand. But if we do, then we lose the feed again. Headbutting the second wind for preparation of those wounds. And that uses Pen Nib to do more damage to both. With the spike damage, this, dagger will take itself out. Without feed into this deck, all these fights would have been a lot faster, as I'm trying to find a way to use feed. You know, I would have been able to Fiend Fire so much faster in a lot of these and just end fights a lot faster, but really, you know, finding a way to play feed is the whole thing in order to gain that max HP. So yeah, if we just continue to second wind, that makes sure that these wounds don't just stay in our hand forever. Sever Soul plus feed does the job here. Oh, and then that's the problem with Juggernaut, is that it activates so much that it ruins the whole setup. I definitely just played the wrong combination of cards there. I could have used feed. So we get another headbutt. I think headbutt is like just really good. Can help us eliminate a whole bunch of cards. See what would be a good upgrade. I think Dark Embrace is pretty good upgrade all the time, just because it takes the cost of it down. We probably just want to play the strike at the end of all of that in order to ensure that it doesn't really do much more damage with that slow. It's almost a waste. Alright, so we have Apparitions. Play that. Yeah, I think lately I've been doing a good job against head. I've been kind of 50-50 with it, where I'm trying to remember that, you know, every card play equals a little bit of more damage, so if you can hold off on playing the attacks until the end, then that'd be great, especially now that we have Pen Nib, we want to hold off. But here I wouldn't be surprised if I just Fiend Fire my whole hand away. Like, use Juggernaut and just Fiend Fire this whole hand. Although, like I said, I do have a Shrug It Off Infinite, but I don't think I recognize that at this point. But it would take so long. It takes so long, and Fiend Firing half his health away is a lot faster. Yeah, if I Apparition last turn, then that offering would have actually only taken 1 damage away from me. I also wouldn't have to spend so many cards focusing on block damage, on blocking damage, yeah. So I think bashing dropkick is nice. Yeah. We can almost feed. Probably gotta wait. That's good. That's really good damage on the headbutt plus. And now feeding does get him out of here. Great. And we get Tungsten Rod. Which, okay, Tungsten Rod makes it so that if we Apparition, we no longer have to block. Because we would only take 1 damage. Tungsten Rod makes it so that 1 damage turns into 0 damage. And that is amazing. So now Apparitions, on the turn that we draw them, completely give us block. Let's, before clicking on any of these, well, we have to take the key here if we want to fight the heart. wasn't even worth looking to see what we would have bottled. I think I would have bottled Offering. Tungsten Rod also took down our damage there from 6 to 5. I like second win here, just getting rid of all of them, but maybe we can wait till next turn to do it. Sever Souling is fine too, actually. Sever Soul does the same thing. Make sure to Shockwave. Second win, finally. Just getting rid of all of that. Apparitions don't matter at this point. Probably at this point, I mean, taking out one of the daggers ensures that you don't get that status effect from one of them. Yeah, that's a fine skip. I think Whirlwind might just do the job here. You can disarm Whirlwind, but you can just wait to disarm next turn. And disarm does draw you a card, and it might not be, you know, it might be an apparition, so I think Whirlwinding is better. Yep. Yeah, now we can just drop kick. Apparition is a bad draw there. But bashing the Repto to ensure that he's vulnerable is good. It'll make sure that we can do more drop kick stuff next turn. And Fiendfire just takes us out of here. Yep, I might be waiting for feed though. And we draw feed. We can drop kick him to get him low. Then probably feed him. Checking to see how much damage that does. Need one more hit, and that's it right there. Perfect. We get all the smooth stone. It's good. It's a nice relic. Doesn't do too much, but I like how fast it is and how it's working for us. Probably Shrug, then Silver Soul, so we can keep Shrug. Yeah. The only thing really missing from this deck, it's not completely necessary, but you know, we have strength scaling with Shuriken, but we have no way of popping it most times, of activating that. Here's a big turn. Okay. Alright, so let's see what we got. Dark Embrace, Juggernaut, Headbutt. Have some options here. We're, you know, gonna take 35 damage. Unless we do something about that. Let's play Juggernaut. Should we play Juggernaut? It doesn't seem like it. Wait. Let me look at these things, see if we can get anything happening. We might be able to Liquid Memories to shrug it off. And that would mitigate some things. Oh, we can feed this Exploder and get him out of here. And now we only have to block 24. So now we are only missing 6 block to be able to block this. And that's easily achievable with Second Wind. Or with a potion. But taking this damage isn't the worst thing either. So we'll play Dark Embrace. Dark Embrace plus Second Wind would give us some defense. Play Headbutt into the Shrug It Off for next turn. And we'll add a Fiendfire to our deck. Should help us get more damage. But yeah, we do take some damage there. It's not the worst thing. And here we play Dark Embrace. I mean, how much does a strike do here? I think we could just double strike. We can just double strike the Exploder. Whirlwind does a good job here. Yeah. Play that. Leaves us in a good position. Fiendfire is just fun here. Not even necessary, but it's so fun. I could see myself just using strikes here just to get him down. Yeah, Fiendfire is just fun. Yeah, where's Feed? Seems like we didn't care about Feed that run. That that encounter. That was a misplay. We could have easily fed on that one. And we have the maul. Good with using our powers here. I like adding power cards with no Reese Codex because you play those and then they just leave. Apparition is nice. Again, this is a turn where it'd be nice to Fiend Fire, but we can't because we have that feed in our hand. So if we want to feed on the maul, we'll have to wait. Oh, in that last fight, we actually got rid of feed early, and that's why it didn't matter anymore. I forgot about that. Still was taking me so long to close that fight out. It really wasn't necessary to wait that long. Alright. Here we'll Apparition. Make the Maul's attack useless. And I like disarming here. Get rid of that. Okay. Yeah. Second win there just to get those cards out of here. This is one of the problems with drawing, is that you draw into your apparitions and then your apparitions just become dead draws. I could see myself deciding here that a Sever Souling is good here, I think. Yeah. Because we don't care about Rupture, we don't care about Battle Trance, we don't care about that Defend. War Crying is okay here too. And maybe I headbutt something that's good to use. We need to exhaust these strikes. That would be something that this deck could use, like a Purity. Just get rid of those. Get rid of that. You know, we have 2 headbutts. If we got rid of 1, we'd be alright. Deck has some bloat to it. With Runic Pyramid, it just exposes it. Alright, so we'll just play that. Whirlwind. We Put the Burning Pact in, so that way we have a way to exhaust. Yeah, I like Juggernaut. Dropkick. Flush Target off, again, could be our win con. If we Burning Pact enough, if we trigger it enough, we could get down to those cards. Yeah, we gotta make sure to keep them vulnerable. Now we have a good Feel No Pain plus Shrug. Yep. That's... oh. Okay, that Fiend Fire wasn't actually necessary there. I could have True Gridded a card and that would have been fine. Now I completely eliminated the feed, even though that's the whole purpose of stalling the fight. I saw a 34 incoming attack and got like there was ways to mitigate that damage. It wasn't necessary to do that at all. But that does get us out of that fight. We got another elite. We got another relic chance here. And I could swear that this feed is bottled. The way that it always appears in our starting hand. It just wants to be played early. It wants to be played first. We have no way of getting it out of our hand. Okay. So he's intangible this turn, so we definitely don't want to play any attacks. However, sometimes playing something like... Oh, I do have feed in my hand again. And even though we haven't been feeding often, playing these attacks gets them out of our hand. It does activate Shuriken. There's value in doing that. And we're only going to take one. Let's add Impervious to our deck. Or let's add Rage. As a matter of fact, I could see us getting down to a few cards. Rage could be very helpful. Yeah. And here, even though we do not need the block, second winding away all these skills makes our deck a lot smaller. Bashing there. Yeah, I think playing Rupture is fine. Playing Rupture and Whirlwind to advance Pendant. Here, play Shockwave. I do want to let people know on YouTube that I'm also on TikTok. If anyone has TikTok and is frequently on there, my shorts are also available there. I wish everyone a happy new year. We step into the new year. Looking forward to a lot more content, more videos. We have the new game coming. Very exciting. Yeah, I think second win works here to condense our deck again. Yeah, we can play Feel No Pain and second win again if we wanted. Get rid of these burns. All I need at this point is like I mean, he's intangible, but with all that block that we got, and some calipers would have been nice. barricade would have been useful. Ironclad can just generate so much block. And he should be done here. I mean... yeah, there you go. Pendant feed. Finally, we get a feed off. Fairy in a bottle is too good not to take. It could really save you in a pinch. And it almost guarantees, I think, the heart fight on its own. Won't take any of those cards, that'll be a skip. Head into this final fire and upgrade something. See what I like here. Upgrading the shockwave is good, I think. Upgrading the Juggernaut would be cool. Upgrading the Seeing Red. Upgrading the armaments. Make sure that when we get that, all of our other cards get upgraded. That's good. Especially we can manipulate that with Runic. And our red mask and our bag of marbles got rid of their artifact charges. So now we have no artifact on these two. We should be able to do some stuff to them. We take the cultist potion here. Make sure that we can do some good stuff. Because we don't have strength scaling in this deck. We do have damage mitigation on lock, but we do not have strength scaling. So in a case where you got these guys and they're constantly powering up, you might want some strength scaling to deal with that. So we made it to the boss on Ascension 2. This is a good sign. Dropkick is always welcome. If we can make them vulnerable, especially now that they're debuffed, we can maybe continue a combo with that. Apparitions here come in clutch right when we're gonna get hit. And help us for next turn. Battle trancing here would be good, I think. Burning Pact is useful. Condense our deck. Here, got a Juggernaut, put that in play so we can do some passive damage. Yeah, it's so interesting. And that these turns that I have had Apparition, I haven't needed to actually block. So some of these times I'm playing block cards when they're not needed. Yeah, this deck has so much bloat to it that it needs Fiendfire to get drawn so you can just remove all these defense and all these strikes. And cards like Battle Trance that don't serve us much anymore since we're drawing a full hand. Cover Soul allows us to cleanse. I don't think Seeing Red was upgraded there. Might have been cool to armaments our whole hand and then play Seeing Red. We would have been able to get another energy out of it and this would have been free. So, the misplay there. This is huge. That shockwave is huge. And it's gonna work with dropkick and the like. Look at this, a little bit of a drop kick run there. We have feet in our hand. And then we get that shuriken. We get another drop kick, so played 3 drop kicks this turn. We get rage. We get to play Feel No Pain there because getting another shockwave would be pretty good, yeah. So we get a strength, we get a sundial also. So now we have 6 energy. Probably second wind here. I think it's actually good. So the shockwave that we just added served its purpose of being exhausted for 8 block plus some more because of our powers. So we need just one more to play our rage. True gritting a strike here. Probably a good idea. See, we're getting closer to exhausting down our deck. Probably looking to feed the Donu here. Yep. And so we got Donu out of here. Now we can just focus on Deca. So now we could Fiend Fire at some point. Once we have these cards that we... So Fiend Firing now would be great. Yeah, do that. Get rid of all this crap. And he's done. So we had Lethal in our hand just waiting. And then, you know, we got all those strength buffs. And we're in the final act, Act 4. On our way to take on the heart. Let's see what we're going to upgrade here. I feel like Apparition upgrades are actually pretty good. Because when they're upgraded, you can just keep them in your hand indefinitely until you want to use them. So it's an intangible and you know, in a rough time. I think upgrading one of those and just keeping them in hand also makes sure that you just win the hard fight. On top of all the other win cons that we have. Which we have Infinite in our deck. We have Apparitions, but if we had an upgraded Apparition, that would definitely... We have Fairy in a Bottle. We have all these things that are just kind of making it so we can't possibly lose. Unless we severely misplay a couple times. I think here, orange pellets is looking really good. We are constantly playing a variety of cards. And the heart does want to debuff us, so. And these guys are definitely wanting to debuff us, so this helps during this elite fight. We'll start out how we usually do. Disarm does do something. That helps us. Don't draw anything of significance with that. I think playing the 2 strikes versus Flame Barrier was the right play there. So this armaments upgrades our entire hand. So now we can keep the Apparition on hand if we want to, but we might need it here actually to defend this damage. So and we get Shuriken with that. Yeah, Shockwave is good there. Okay. Rupture never comes in this deck before offering. It always comes after, it seems like. Another second wind would be nice. Gets us down. Yeah, it gets us down to what we want. A nice drop kick. I switch priorities here, since we only have shield attacking us this turn. Okay, I'm looking to see if we have another Shrug It Off in our draw pile. We do. So if we lose this one, we'll be okay. And can feed on shield. We get the Shuriken also. So this is pretty much done here. Yep. GG's. Alright, so we got this pocket watch. And pocket watch is... it is actually useful. Sometimes we are playing minimal cards, but with 4 energy, that's a little harder for us to do. Especially here now, where I'm searching for something. Play Bash. Yeah, Pocket Watch is kind of a useless relic with the way that we've been playing. Apparition completely shields us. And being firing the rest of the hand wouldn't be bad. So I knew there that Fiend firing all those would give us enough block to defend. So therefore the Apparition wasn't needed and it could do extra damage instead. We're taking no damage from the heart because we have that Tungsten Rod. So Beat of Death isn't doing enough. So we're gonna get his for 60. Oh wow. And with Liquid Memories, we find extra block. We can just play these powers that are in our hand now. We take no damage because of Tungsten Rod. Tungsten Rod is so big. It's one of my favorite relics. And again, I drew Rupture after offering. Alright, so we have enough block to handle this turn. I like playing Sever Soul here, because Sever Soul gets rid of Slime and Burn, but I guess we have that as an option next turn. Bloodletting would finally give us some Rupture strength. I shrug it off. Sever Soul. Depending on what we draw. That Apparition is always there. So we're gonna play Shrug It Off here to make sure that we don't exhaust it. The Sever Soul is gonna exhaust all these other skills in our hand. And with the exhaust, it'll give us enough block also to deal with that. I use feed there just to get rid of it because feeding on the heart doesn't do anything. This is the end of the game. See if we want anything here. I never noticed the thing on the bottom there of the heart saying 200, like right now it says 208. I never noticed that before. So that's an indication of how much you can damage it this turn before your attacks do nothing. So now we're getting closer to our infinite. Make sure that he's vulnerable will help us achieve that. Second wind, if we second wind our shrug, we lose that. So we have to make sure to play shrug and then second wind, but we have to drop kick when we get it as well. And then true grit is just too good to be able to remove like a burn or a strike. And at this point, now we're using Sundial to help us. And now we're gonna activate Rupture, okay? And we drop kick. Yeah, now we're in a groove now. Our Dark Embrace is working with our True Grit. Working with our Shrug It Off. Now we're exhausting our whole hand. Now we're just shrugging and drop kicking. It's beautiful when this finally comes together. We've been trying to do that the whole run. And now we've reached the limit of like what we can do for that turn, but we'll just continue to do it next turn. Well, there won't be a next turn because the heart keeps hitting itself on our bronze scales. So that's it. That's the end. You slayed Ascension 2 with the Ironclad. Thanks everyone for watching. Leave a like on your way out. Leave a comment if you enjoyed. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Click on the video that shows up here if you like this video. Bye.